Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film. This is going to be a top 10 list of movies that you can watch right now on Amazon Prime UK for the month of May 2018. So let's get started. Number 10, Seoul Station. Several groups of people try to survive a zombie pandemic that unleashes itself in downtown Seoul. This is an animated prequel to Train to Busan, one of my favourite zombie movies of the last few years, and this animated tale is all about the beginning of this outbreak. You have a father looking for his daughter, you have some other characters that you grow to love, some you hate because there's always that one person that seems to do the thing that everybody else is screaming at them not to do. The gore is there, the story is there. This is a very adult story, a story that does lead in, like I said, to Train to Busan, but has its own ethos and spirit about it. None of the characters really carry forward, unless you count zombies, and it just entertains. It looks stunning. Like I said, it really does pack in the gore in a visually stylistic way. It's a story that kept me on the edge of my seat, and it's thoroughly entertaining. Number 9, Train to Busan. A father with not much time for his daughter are boarding the train that shall bring them from Seoul to Busan. But during their journey, the apocalypse begins and most of the Earth's population become flesh-craving zombies. While the train is shooting towards Busan, the passengers fight for their families' lives against the zombies and each other. Terrific zombie movie, like I've just previously mentioned, and this one is all about a father and daughter and a host of other characters that are just trying to survive on this train journey away from Seoul, which is heavily infected with zombies, to get to Busan, where it's hopefully a lot safer, where there is an army presence and they should technically be safe. Along the way, we get characters that turn from businessmen into hero types. We have a father who learns to take control of his and his daughter's life along the way. We've got some characters we don't like, some characters that we do, and we get a lot of people dying on this. This isn't like your Hollywood movie where they won't kill off certain people. In this movie, everybody can and possibly will die. It's got a nice conceit as well, where the zombies only attack because they see movement. When it's dark or they can't see you, they just kind of go into a daze, which is a nice conceit and it's something I like. And again, the special effects are pretty fantastic and the zombies are plentiful. Number 8, Patchwork. A bombastic throwback horror comedy that follows 3 young women who go out partying one night and find themselves Frankenstein together in one body. Now they must put aside their differences so they can find out who did this and exact revenge. Patchwork was a movie where I considered watching it, but did I really want to watch this low budget horror movie? And I'm really thankful I did, because it has some great ideas behind it. It takes some typical tropes we've seen and kind of reinvents them. It takes these 3 women and, like it says, Frankensteins them into the one body, but it has this really nice idea behind it. So when the 3 women, who are all still conscious and part of this body, are talking, they're in a room discussing things as they once were. And it's nice to see that kind of idea in this movie. It's very gore, it's very comedic, it's very fun, and it has a good mystery at its heart as well. Who did this to these women and why? It's something else that just lets the story move forward. Definitely a strange one, but one that you'll like if you like Reanimator or Frankenhooker or those types of movies. Number 7, Empire Records. A day in the life of the employees of Empire Records, except this day is where everything comes to a head for a number of them facing personal crisis. Can they pull through together? And more importantly, can they keep the record store independent and not swallowed up by corporate greed? I'm not going to stand here and say that Empire Records is a fantastically well-made movie, or even one that has a great storyline to it. But what it does do is it has a great cast of characters, makes them interesting and makes you invested in their lives, how they are dealing with relationships, how they're dealing with work life and other crises that's in about their whole lives. It's fun, the music is propulsive and really perpetuates this script, keeping it live and active, and then the characters themselves are, like I said, just so rich. This is a little bit ludicrous near the end, but it doesn't really matter. It's more about these people and just how they spend their day, how they have such a fun work environment, the kind of thing that everybody would really like to have their workplace be like. Number 6, Event Horizon. In the year 2047, a group of astronauts are sent to investigate and salvage the long-lost starship Event Horizon. The ship disappeared mysteriously 7 years before on its maiden voyage, and with its return comes even more mystery as the crew of the Lewis and Clark discover the real truth behind its disappearance, and something even more terrifying. I'm not the biggest fan of Paul W.S. Anderson. He's done a couple of movies that I kind of like, Event Horizon probably being the best one of his. It is a science fiction horror movie that really works tremendously well. It's got a really good cast in it, it has some really nice set pieces, and it gets under your skin. It is horrifying and very atmospheric, and it's one I can really recommend wholeheartedly. Number 5, Moonlight. A young African-American gay man deals with his dysfunctional home life and comes of age in Miami during the war on drugs era. The story of his struggle to find himself is told across 3 defining chapters in his life as he experiences the ecstasy, pain and beauty of falling in love while grappling with his own sexuality. Moonlight was the Oscar winner for Best Picture, and quite rightly so. It is a fantastic tale about this person's struggle, with how he sees himself in amongst this world where he cannot be himself, and it's told through 3 various pivotal points in his life as he kind of camouflages himself, comes to learn the person that he's going to be and how he is going to deal with that, and tries to get to the emotional core of his sexuality. It's really well told. It gives us a fascinating character who you learn so much about throughout the movie, and who you feel for in this kind of predicament as he tries to discover how he can be who he really is rather than this facade that he puts on. It's a great movie. Number 4, Tickled. Journalist David Farrier stumbles across a mysterious tickling competition online. As he delves deeper, he comes up against fierce resistance, but that doesn't stop him getting to the bottom of a story stranger than fiction. Tickled is one of those documentaries that just grabs your attention with a, really? That seriously happens? And it's all about this tickling competition that on the surface is kind of easy to make fun of and poke fun at, but there is a nefarious purpose behind it. And as this journalist starts to unravel the threads, he finds himself falling into a rabbit hole of just weirdness as he uncovers that there could be just one person behind all of these different kind of events, somebody who is facilitating his kink with a large amount of money. I don't want to tell you too much about this because I think it's something that you should discover while watching the movie, and is definitely well worth checking out. Number 3, 47 metres down. 2 sisters are exploring the deep blue sea until something goes wrong. As they submerge 47 metres, they encounter a creature that only wants flesh and blood. As they fight their way back to the top, they shortly run out of oxygen. With only an hour left, they're not only racing against time, they are racing against life and death. I'm a huge fan of Jaws, so whenever there's a new shark movie out, I kind of gravitate towards it to check it out. I know it's never going to be as good as that movie, but I'm always optimistic and I'm always willing to give it a shot. Sometimes it's just kind of banal nonsense, sometimes it's kind of banal nonsense but entertaining, like 47 metres down. I was genuinely gripped with these girls' stories, and the things that they're trying to do to get back to the surface, to get to safety, is just fun and entertaining to watch, even though it's got those moments where you're just like, don't do that, that's just silly. But it keeps you on the edge of the seat. It's suspenseful, it's thrilling, it has a nice end to it as well. Number 2, Detroit. A police raid in Detroit in 1967 results in one of the largest race riots in the United States history. The story is centred around the Algiers Motel incident, which occurred in Detroit, Michigan on July 25th, 1967, during the racially charged 12th Street riots. It involved the death of 3 black men and the brutal beatings of 9 other people. This is basically a home invasion movie, with a difference. The difference being that it's the police who have invaded this home, and it's the innocents inside who are being tortured and mentally beaten down, and physically as well, by this police force. People who should be looking after these people, looking out for their best interests. But that doesn't happen here. These are the ones instigating all this. Just, oh, you need to see it. It's a movie that's well worth checking out. It is a true life story, and it's horrifying to realise that this actually did happen. Number 1, Pontypool. A radio host interprets a possible outbreak of a deadly virus which infects the small Ontario town he is stationed in. Grant Massey is a shock jock, and he feels as if he's well above his stature. He should be doing a bigger radio station than what he actually is. It's a small town, it's a small audience, and he's been told to toe the company line. Read out what he has to read out. And it's kind of putting him down and putting him under pressure until this story breaks out. And he picks out various phone calls or on-street reporters and starts to piece together this story of an outbreak of some sort, something that is decimating the local town and the local townspeople. It's effortless stuff. It's only 3 characters inside a large room, a radio station, but everything comes through the sound. It is all through his voice, his warm, enigmatic voice as he pieces together the information, talking to people, and it's riveting. It is edge of the seat stuff. It's a movie that I put off watching for the longest time, and I wish I hadn't, because I found a fantastic horror movie that relies more on atmosphere rather than just gore. I think it's definitely one that you should check out. If you're a horror fan, I think you'll definitely like it. So there we have it. That's my top 10 movies to watch this month on Amazon Prime UK. Hope you find something that you can put on and enjoy, or hopefully find something that you've never heard of before. If there's something I've missed out, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.